Scorpio, this is Annette with Annette's Astrology Corner, and this is your November reading. And I have a gorgeous month to talk about. I haven't had too many of these months. They've been months that usually have some big underlying theme and some terrible thing that's going on. And we just don't have that. We just really honestly have a pretty delicious month. That's not to say that I don't think that this month has its challenges and that we're going to discuss them, but I think for the most part, you're going to find that even these challenges are followed up by powerful and exciting new sextiles that are really energizing us in a really good way. So we start out the month with Venus in Virgo, debilitated energy. Venus isn't too happy in this energy. We're critically analyzing our relationships. It's going to align with Mars, and all of this is going to be happening in your second house. So this is about, the second house is about valuing yourself, what you value, possessions that you value, setting goals to achieve, to get things that you value. It's that house that lets us know, like what do we actually want to work hard to get, who values us, that sort of stuff. So for you, the sun is going to be in Scorpio. It's going to, of course, be conjunct with Mercury in Scorpio. And the moon in this event is going to be in Leo. So this is a big deal. The good thing that I can say about this is that Pluto in Capricorn is going to be sextiling the sun during this event. So a sun in Scorpio is a pretty intense energy. It's an energy that just asks us to be not as self-indulgent and rely on our intuition and to align with the bigger picture. That bigger picture usually has something to do with emotional desires and intensity and intuitive responses to energy. So I want to say that this has more to do with what you value on a level of intuitively, like what you deeply desire, what smolders from within, what makes your fire burn bright and sustain it. You're going to be taking a look at that. And Mercury, the messenger, is going to be aligning, is going to be conjunct with this at the time that Virgo is going to be aligning with Mars, all in the second house. So this to me suggests that the way that we move forward in life is we're going to passionately pursue things, but we're going to have a much more realistic approach to them. We're going to think them through. Much of what we used to do in the past was just gung-ho, all Leo moment, living in the moment, and we didn't think about the repercussions. And as we have matured in this over the last few years and went through many of the trials and tribulations, and we went through that whole Saturn and Leo thing, we learned some pretty big lessons about moving forward in precise steps. We consider all factors, and then we progress. So I think you're just going to be critically analyzing some of your closest relationships, some of the ways that you seek pleasure. If you have overindulgences, you're probably taking a look at that, thinking them through, and trying to look at different ways of doing things. And this is going to cause you to, you're going to be very intuitive and aligned with this energy, because when the sun is in Scorpio, all that energy rubs off on you. So if there's something that's missing or an information that you don't have yet that is preventing you from getting what you want and what you deeply value, then you might have a message right around this time, or some information might come to light that has been hidden up to this point, or has not been, you haven't been fully aware of. On the 8th, we have Venus moves into Libra. This is happening in your third house. When Venus moves into Libra, much better energy, very pleasure-seeking energy. You're a pleasure-based soul, so this is going to deeply resonate with you, this energy. All of this is going to be happening in your third house, so it's going to be conversations about deep desires, wants. You actually are probably going to have a lot more conversations about spirituality and balance and broad thinking. And it's almost like what opens up in you, what you're starting to value is you're starting to separate yourself from recognition and power. And yes, you want that, but you want it to for broadening yourself and your perspectives. This isn't about just pleasure seeking for the sake of pleasure seeking. The way that I think that you're seeking pleasure is through intuitive awareness and thinking things through and opening yourself up and metaphysically aligning yourself. I mean, I really believe that some of the areas that you're being opened up, and many of the partnerships that are starting to come into your life are making you aware of this. And on the 8th, Jupiter's going to go in and expand this, expand heart, expand the need for partnership. It's going to release some of the pain associated with love, release some of the fear that's associated with being dreamy and looking at an optimistic outcome, and really heightening your personal power. But I believe there's a decision that you're pondering in the month of November. And you've got a lot to think about, to me, when I see your reading in the month of December. And to me, this really honestly has to do with heart, pleasure, love, getting more out of life, feeling fulfilled. On the 11th, we have a new moon in Scorpio, and this new moon, of course, anytime there's a new moon, it has to do with the sun. And so the sun in Scorpio new moon is going to be in your 4th house. It's going to be conjunct Mercury in Scorpio. So this is about new beginnings, new perspectives, making a decision. I want to say that even though this energy is delicious, energy, new moon energy, opening yourself up to new beginnings. But Jupiter's in Virgo, so you're opening yourself up to processing, critically processing, like your purpose in the world and where you're at and what you want to be and do, and seeking. You feel like you're like a sponge. You need more information, lots and lots of information. And that could have been left over from the 8th, or maybe something came up on the 8th that really opened you up to probably a way different thought process. And so you are really energized by this new perspective. Chiron is training this event. So this isn't about, I'm burdened by my past and pondering my past and not willing to move forward. It's about moving forward, releasing burdens, releasing the need for poor coping methods. You may be on a health kick or on a positive kick about resisting some temptations that in the past used to get the best of you. This is about releasing yourself from fear and releasing yourself from the burdens that the unknown. You're not so fearful of the unknown. You're more comfortable with unknown, because unknown can mean new opportunities. I think you're starting to wrap your head around that. You're building passion, but passion for very different things this month. And I believe that after this month, there's a lot that you are going to celebrate, but this is a heavy thinking month, but not heavy karmic 12th house stuff. It's thinking things through, opening yourself up to new opportunities, perspectives, wants, hopes, dreams, desires, because I get so excited about this month, because it's just, every time I talk about it, I get better, more and more aligned with it. Okay, on the 12th, Mars moves into Libra. Okay. So Venus is in Libra, Mars is in Libra, and the Sun is still in Scorpio conjunct with Mercury in Scorpio, still sextiling Jupiter in Virgo for you. All of this stuff just feels good. It feels good. I want to say that this month is about balancing you, aligning you, resisting temptation, moving forward with a new, healthy, positive perspective. You have let go of a lot of things that in the past used to make you a fear-based reactor. You're not that person anymore. And I really think, although you're not at that celebratory stage where life is just moving in your direction, you are at, you're like, you just lit a match and you're putting it on a stick of dynamite. Like, that's where you're at right now. And that is exciting. So on the 16th, we have the Sun in Scorpio aligns with Mercury in Scorpio. So the Sun, deep, burning, desired, innermost wants, needs from deep down within your, if you could go as deep as you could possibly go to get that sun to shine as bright as it is, what obstacles prevent that? And you're going to be digging. You're going to be digging and trudging through all of this and releasing. It's like you're opening up the doors for the first time in many of the rooms that have been shut up for a really long time. And you're letting new light in and letting new hope and optimism in. And that's what I think you're going to start to feel. The beautiful thing about this event when this happens is that the moon in Capricorn is going to sextile the sun in Scorpio, and Jupiter is going to sextile the sun in Scorpio. So this is about opening yourself up to positive new routines, new beginnings. This is about, honest to God, you could probably not, I mean, even if things come up that make you think about past wounds, I think you know those things are lessons, karmic lessons that you've already lived through, deciphered, and they were messengers for you, and you are open enough to be able and broad-minded enough to be able to be aware of that. Now, here's the most exciting thing for me. I love non-reality. When my reality bites ass, I put on a movie or I listen to a song and I pretend that I'm in a different reality, and I dig that. And I haven't been able to do that because fracking Neptune has been in Pisces, has been in retrograde, and then we went all through all those heavy retrogrades and all those that it was just stupid. I'm done with it. So now I'm ready to be hopeful and dreamy and optimistic and go to bed and think about a completely different reality than the reality that I'm in. Like, I want that. And we get that. So Neptune goes direct on the 18th. And at the time that it goes direct, it is conjunct Chiron in Pisces, which means lots of healing, lots of deep 12th house healing, opening yourself up to new ways of thinking. And God, it is about releasing fear from your life, not being scared of what you don't see anymore. And you're much more patient with your outcomes. You're much more introspective about being the decisions that you make. And that's really good for a Leo to be in, because before you used to make a lot of ego-based decisions. So then on the 20th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius. This is all happening in the 5th house. The sun in Scorpio trines the moon in Pisces, which is conjunct Pisces. So you are energetically aligned. You are feeling water energy. It's not putting out your fire, sweets. It's not, because everything that's going on in the 20th is, okay, so Mercury in Sagittarius, fire-based energy, and Saturn in Sagittarius is another fire energy, lots of determined energy, lots of stoking your fire, as kind of what I was wanting to say, they're all conjunct. And even if you're being unrealistic about a situation and you get a little bit of a realization, this realization is not going to knock your socks off, because your moon and your sun are trining each other, and then you have Chiron in here doing its work. So water is flowing and washing away anything that comes up that may take you out of alignment, because there's some deep messages, there's some deep healing, and there's more. It's not about aligning with the material world and facing the material the material lessons in life. It's about energetically connecting on a level that is higher than this world, this plane that we live on. So then on the 23rd, the sun moves into Sagittarius. Okay, so when the sun moves into Sagittarius, this is about delicious energy. This is about, I'm sorry, that was falling. Okay, this is about, you want to seek truth, right? You are a human sponge for information right now. Information about metaphysical, introspective energy. You are very interested in all the lessons that you've learned, why, what they all meant. You are also, but not from a sad point of view, but from a, oh my God, that stuff happened to me. I now see the light as to why it was opening me up for this. But now that just opens you up to think, oh my God, if that's what happened with that energy, what does all the other energy mean? And that's what you're going to be thinking about. You're going to be very, you're going to feel more social, outgoing, optimistic, curious, lots of curiosity in this entire month. You're a curious little kiki cat, and you're walking around and this is all happening, not 12th house, but internally, intuitively. So it's very hard because I would say that normally this stuff would all be 12th house work, but for you, this is mental expansion, right? And I dig it. Even if it's something that you think about that's heart-based and it maybe was a lesson learned, you're not even upset about it. Like, you're just like, that was the lesson I had to learn. And that's a great, when we get to the point to where we can look back at the past, or we can look at lessons, or we can look at tough spots in our life, and we can use them as tools of progression, we are energetically aligned. And that's what you are this month. On the 24th, Mercury in Sagittarius aligns with Saturn in Sagittarius. So when Mercury is in Sagittarius, this is about big ideas. It's about a thirst for knowledge. And this is going down to your core. You have something that you are deeply resonating about, trying to make a decision on. You have, you're trying to figure out how to align your passion with your purpose and your outcome. And you really are, see, all this energy is leading up to the 25th, and that's the full moon in Gemini, and all that's going to be happening in your 11th house. Hopes, dreams, wishes, baby, one of the favorite houses of any kind of Leo, because we just love that kind of stuff, optimism and hope and glass half full stuff. And so when this happens, when Mercury in Sagittarius aligns with Saturn, I think this is, again, it's like watching those time-lapse photography of like a bud that just opens up really fast. I think that's what you're going to feel. It's going to be like just a soul-based expansion. Super invigorating for me to feel this energy, dig it the most. Because the sun is going to be conjunct Saturn. The sun is going to be conjunct Mercury in this event and Saturn. They're all working together. Lots and lots of Sagittarius energy, which is why I drew this sweet baby. This always reminds me, at least in my world, this reminds me of Jupiter and Sagittarius energy for me. This is just a broad thinking, broad-minded, introspective work and a new process. That's at least what it means to me. And it is in, so you are doing this work, and this is all about balance, aligning. This is all about opening yourself up. But not only that, we have a gorgeous sextile to just make all the sweet stuff brew a little bit sweeter. And that's in Mars and Libra. So if there is something, again, I think what you're doing is you're figuring out fact from fiction. You're figuring out desire from what you can actually attain. So you're working in that kind of mentality. And then on the 25th, we have this full moon in Gemini in the 11th house. Hopes, dreams, wishes. This is about unlocking potential. This is about an accumulative. You've been thinking, stirring the pot, pondering, going through a journey. And this journey is going to lead you to this full moon. Now, whatever happens on this full moon is an accumulative energy from all of the positive energy and all of the Chiron and the introspective work that you've been doing. So the sun in Sagittarius is going to be conjunct Mercury and Saturn, which are both conjunct themselves. And so this full moon is going to be sextiling Mars in Libra. I want to say that, okay, so for people who have had this month, if you were in La La Land, you're not anymore. The cumulative energy reality check world. This is what the reality is. If you, especially if you are idealizing something that is heart-based, love, relationship-based, and perhaps you were idealizing a little bit too much, or you weren't seeing the reality of that person's mental well-being. I want to say that for some reason. You will see it now. I think for almost everybody else, and don't feel bad if you're the one that these squares in Neptune moving forward that have been going on has been giving you a bunch of reality checks, and you're the one missing out on all this really positive energy, because you're not. You're just walking the journey a bit different. But we're all walking the same journey if you're a Leo, in the fact that this is opening yourself up to energetically aligning yourself with hopes, dreams, wishes, ambition, passion, love, pleasure, right? It's opening yourself up to the possibilities in all of those areas. Lovely, lovely month. So thankful I get to talk to you about it. It has been such a pleasure to bring this message to you, because I've just had such hard months to give you such dramatically sad information, and now I just get to bring you nothing but positive messages. Thank you guys so much for watching Annette's Astrology Corner, and I look forward to talking to you guys again next month.